There's a woman who's teaching students a simple lesson she hopes they won't forget over the summer, or ever for that matter: how to eat. For WBEZ, Jacob Daniel Anderson has the story.
Most of us learned about food like it's math. There's this triangle, but it's called a pyramid. Somehow you're supposed to use the 6 regions of the triangle to eat 3 square meals. Here's how Susan Taylor teaches food.
I'd like you to smell it, then I'd like you to lick it, then take a little bite and put it on your tongue and let it rest until I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now chew this apple and tell me what you taste and what you feel.
Sweet, sour, juicy.
Juicy?
Soft.
Taylor is a food critic and the founder of a nonprofit called the Good Food Project. She conducts apple tastings in school classrooms to introduce kids to what she calls real food.
Pink Lady, Gala, Cameo, and this one is Fuji.
She does teach some vocabulary: tart, aromatic, mealy. But what she's really aiming for is something more basic: food as fun.
The junk food industry takes advantage of this. Frito-Lay has a quote on the side of their truck, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it's something like food for the fun of it.
Apples are loaded into a little gizmo that cores and slices them into thin spirals, which Taylor calls apple slinkies. Every student gets to make a slinky of their favorite variety. But it appears it's not the newly made toy that attracts them. They're all about the taste, which is exactly what Taylor wants. Her enthusiasm for all things apple is contagious.
When apples have their name, do they actually mean something like the name of emperor?
That's such a smart question. I happen to know that the Empire apple...
There's been a generation or two that really isn't cooking very much in the homes. I'm always wearing an apron during our apple tastings, and I purposely do that because I really want people to go back into their homes and eat. I think that the apron is a symbol of home cooking.
Asking the kids about their favorite foods reveals a lot that wouldn't necessarily evoke memories of helping mom or dad in the kitchen.
If you could have any lunch in the world, anything you wanted, what would you have?
I would probably have a hot dog with cheese on it. Cookies. Some cookies with a side of fries. Pizza. A hot dog.
Where do you eat hot dogs?
Go Bananas.
Go Bananas, the indoor amusement park where kids learn to eat and run. It's not much different than the experience at school. Some schools reward kids who scarf down their food with a longer recess period. This frantic pace and the preponderance of highly processed food is leading many food writers and chefs to take up the call for school lunch reform. Their worry is that we're unwittingly teaching kids to become fast food consumers as adults.
But with Taylor, time slows down. She'll spend an hour on 4 apples, tasting, describing, comparing, and enjoying.
Apples have it all. Apples have flavor, texture, aroma, what we food critics like to call mouthfeel, and they're beautiful. So they have everything for the senses, and there are thousands of varieties of apples.
This allness is the heart of her mission.
Do you think you might like to make a slinky apple? Yeah! I thought you might.
Taylor rejects the reductive view of food as simply nourishment, as only the sum of its caloric content. In fact, she never even mentions the word healthy during the tastings, or tells students what they should like or eat. As she encourages each child to savor his treat, she emphasizes every person's unique tastes. And it seems to work.
You didn't like apples before today. What did you think they were like before?
I thought they were like way too hard to eat, and they just tasted like plain. They just tasted way too plain.
Now what do you think about apples?
I like them. They're very juicy, and some of them are sour.
Taylor's success might be most evident in the fact that there are teachers and school principals who now like apples. She has the thank you notes to prove it. For WBEZ, I'm Jacob Daniel Anderson.